Okay, guys, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be a hater. And I've been making podcast episodes. You guys have probably been listening to me long enough to know that. I just that's not who I am. It's not who I want to be. So I just feel like I got to talk about this because I pick my segments, right? I pick things to talk about because they're interesting, because it's not just me saying, "Oh, breaking news, someone's been cast," but rather I want to have something to say about it, right? I usually, almost always, for those of you who've been paying attention to the segments, it's news, right? It's trailers, it's movies, but it's also I want to give some commentary. I want to hear what you guys have to think about it, all that kind of stuff. And I don't cover everything, right? A trailer would come out for something, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, if it looks fine, and if it's not for one of the big movies that we're all looking forward to, then I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about every single trailer that ever comes out. So, I saw earlier this morning, as I'm recording this, I saw that a final trailer for the Minecraft movie, or a Minecraft movie, had come out. And, I mean, it's no secret. I've posted 2 videos on the channel talking about the first and the second trailer. I think those 2 trailers are 2 of the worst trailers I have ever seen in my entire life. And it's not like ANDOR Season 2, which we'll talk about that trailer in just a little bit, because, that's a little bit different to me in terms of I didn't like some of the things that the trailer did, but it didn't get me less excited about the show itself because it's more like trailer construction versus the content that's being shown. We'll talk about that more when we talk about the ANDOR Season 2 trailer. But, there's bad trailers that I just think are poorly constructed trailers that don't necessarily, say have any bearing on whether the movie is gonna be bad. I mean, it could be, but the content that you're watching on the screen is not the problem with the trailer. But then there are bad trailers that are bad because what you are watching from the movie look really bad. And I think that's what this is, right? The past 2 Minecraft trailers are just bad trailers to me because the movie itself looks, dare I say, almost unsalvageable. And again, I say this as somebody who hasn't even seen the movie, and for all I know, and I'm being dead serious, I'm not being funny, the Minecraft movie can come out in April, and it could come out with something like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, and everyone's like, this is the greatest movie ever made, take your kids to it, go watch it, it's heartbreaking, all that kind of stuff. Because, and I'm not just saying this because one example, this has happened many times before where movies that look terrible end up being really good. But the precedent, the Lego movie. I thought the Lego movie looked awful. I hated those trailers. And guess what? The Lego movie was reviewed really well. I went to go watch the Lego movie and I was stunned. It's awesome, no pun intended. It is awesome. So no, I have no doubt that the Minecraft movie could be a really good movie, and I hope it is. I hope it is. So it was with that mindset that I said, okay, 2 of the worst trailers I've ever seen. Let's go see what this third trailer has to say, and if it will change my mind. And I had the mentality, I just want to be clear. I'm not just going to make segments for the sake of making segments. If I thought that the third trailer was just okay, and it was whatever, and if it was pretty much the same as the first 2 trailers, I wasn't going to talk about it. Guys, this third trailer is probably somehow even worse than the first 2 trailers. And again, I don't think it's trailer construction or anything like that. I think the trailer construction is very conventional, the setup and whatnot. I just think that the more I see from this movie, the worse it looks. And I don't know how that's possible. First of all, the biggest question that I had from the first 2 trailers is why in the world are we attempting to put real people in this CG environment? And that's one thing, right? Because again, it doesn't matter how good the animation is. It doesn't matter how good the blue screen is. If you're just putting real people in this live action environment, real people in this animated environment, it's just not going to look right. And it doesn't look right. It looks like they're being photoshopped into the entire movie. Jack Black and Danielle Brooks and Jason Momoa. It just looks like they're being live photoshopped into this blue screen environment. Like as you're watching it, it almost looks like in real time there's a blue screen behind them, like a live stream. It's crazy. And again, I don't even say that as, I'm not saying that as a knock to the animators, because I just don't think there's any level of animation that could get it to look real or to look even semi-believable. So it's just not working. And on top of that, this is a world made out of cubes, right? And I've played my fair share of Minecraft, and so there's a charm to it, right? There really is when you're in the first person point of view, when you're playing with others, the kind of robotic animations, it harkens back to older games, right? With pixelations and whatnot. So to see real people roaming around, it's weird, and it doesn't look right. But then the second thing that I noticed even more in this trailer, more so than the first 2 trailers, and it was in the first 2 trailers, I just didn't really notice or just didn't pay attention, but it was so obvious here, especially with that joke at the end with the villager, with Jennifer Coolidge. That, I mean, they're not just, making the rest of the entities in the world, like the villagers or the wolves or the pandas or whatever. They're not making them blocky. They're not making them, full Minecraft. Because I think it's one thing if they just made everything else full Minecraft and then made Jason Momoa real human, right? I think that's one thing. But the live entities, like the mobs, right? The live mobs, are some crazy, creepy hybrid of like Halloween costumes where they look fake and they look real, and it looks like a real person is in a Halloween costume. And it looks disturbing. It looks so strange. And the way that they're moving is like, everything about this movie is so questionable to me, right? Because, I mean, sure, Jack Black looks like he's having a great time. And I'm sitting here going, I'm all for trying new things. Like I said, Lego Movie proved that the concept is not really the point. It's the execution, right? And when they announced a Minecraft movie, I said, well, that wouldn't have been my first pick if someone had asked me what movie I wanted to see be made from an IP, a video game IP, let alone just any IP. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but you're going to do it, and there's a way in which you can do it really well. There are ways to make any concept really good. But guys, I don't know. Like, I have never seen a series of 3 trailers that has gotten me more and more and more concerned about a movie, to the point where now I would be shocked if the Minecraft movie opened with anything higher than a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. And again, I don't want that, because what I want, right, come April 4th when this movie opens, and maybe even the few days before April 4th when the review embargo lifts, although for movies like this, if they're really bad, then the review embargo doesn't even open until the night before. But, when the review embargo lifts, I want nothing more than the critics to be like, go see this movie, you're going to be surprised, and then I'm going to go see the movie. I'm not going to go see the movie, guys, if it has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. I choose, it's a time commitment. Like, it just is a time commitment. I'm not obligated to review every movie, and I'm baffled. I'm just baffled. And I made this segment because I'm here to share my thoughts, but I also just really want to know your guys' thoughts. Again, I've played Minecraft. I know the game. I'm not a hardcore, I mean, again, no pun intended with the hardcore game mode, but like, I'm not a true, I haven't played, all the recent updates. It's been a while since I played. But I couldn't imagine a worse way to make a movie based on Minecraft. So anyways, I want to ask you guys, because maybe I'm missing something, and maybe you guys are really excited for it. And if you are, that's awesome. That is truly, truly awesome. And I hope that this movie lives up to all your expectations, because it's certainly, from my perspective, yikes. So what do you guys think of this it's called the final trailer to the Minecraft movie. And I guess we'll have to wait and see how the movie does. Let me know in the comments down below.